I am human optimization, and optimized to be what though? To just be happy.
I feel like I can rule the world. I know I could be what I want to. I put my all in it like no days off. On the road, let's try.
Yeah, how does the skater guy become human optimization embodied the way you are? Were you always this way, or was this I lived a certain way and then I had a realization in a moment where I decided to kind of shift my path so that I could design my life a little bit differently?
Yeah, I was not this way. You're talking to a guy getting attacked by sharks, who's starting company after company, breaking world records, jumping cars, doing cartoons, television shows, doing all these things as you related to in the beginning. Like you were pulling into, I would say you were pulling energy from like who I used to be and what you know me as, right?
Just as a
And
fan.
like, yeah, right. So the way that you were viewing was in fact really how I was kind of living, where I was always refer to myself as going in so many directions that at once I was like pulled tight. And so what happens? You swing from side to side in order for there to be some sort of give in whatever you were ultimately doing. And for me, I had built my league, my professional skateboarding league, and took it to market to raise capital. And these groups were like, "Oh, we want a piece of everything that you do. Look at all that you do." They offered me a 360 deal. I thought, this is it. I've just done this whole thing by the seat of my pants, and like finally, like these people are going to recognize me and turn me into the billionaire I'm meant to be. And when they did the diligence on how I ran my finances, how I ran my life, all aspects of it, they were like, "You're not even investable. You're just like, you spend all the money that you have, like you're not creating any value, like all this stuff." And it was this deep awakening of like, you're not who you think you are. Like you've attached yourself, this identity that you've created for yourself is actually false. And the success that you've had by being so driven and so ambitious, like as despite all these other things you're doing that are failing, you're making up for it by other things working. Like you aren't actually what you think you are. And I went on this journey to begin the discovery of like, how can I begin to put a system around myself to become, first it was like, how do I learn business? I don't know business. And I hired a consultant to teach me how to build a company beginning to end. And in that process, I found this book called Start at the End. That was a business book about decide what you want out of a business before you ever start it. And then it was like this sort of like insane sort of moment that where I was like, man, like I need to start treating my life like that. What life do I want?
And how
And
long
then
ago was
now
this?
that would have been in 2013. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So it wasn't, you got to understand, the evolution and the growth that I have gone through over the last 6 years is 4 or 5 lifetimes of growth. You're talking about from saying you're uninvestable to creating generational wealth in a 5-year period. Okay, more and now transitioning beyond self-preservation to generational preservation. What is my 500-year plan? How am I going to affect Dyrdek's for the next 500 years? And I couldn't even in 2013. I was single partying, and like part of like when I looked at like what's my ideal life, I want to have balance and love and marriage and kids and these things. So I had to begin to change the way that I was living to ultimately create the energy to attract um, the person, the people, the knowledge, everything that I would need to grow into the person that I had designed for myself in 2014 and 15.